are grateful that our esteemed panelists have taken time off, and also our audience who are here to listen to some of the finest minds talk on how homes can be made safer. The onus of making homes safer falls on the developer during construction, and hence he has an array of experts who manage projects, electricals, technology, procurement, and all aspects of construction. Once the resident has occupied the building, any renovation and reconstruction required, and then ensuring that he buys products that are designated safe, will fall on him. We are here with Polycab today, Construction Week, that is here with Polycab today, to talk about the safer aspects of home, green wires, and how you can look at safety across installations. A little bit about Construction Week also. We are a 13-year-old magazine in the country, a Dubai-based publication, a British company, and this year we celebrate 13 years, this month we celebrate 13 years of existence in India. We are also known for our Construction Week Awards, which is a mega affair, which will be held in November, and we would like all of you, will invite all of you to participate in some way. And today, coming back to the webinar today, we'll hear the experts speak. But first, I would like to introduce my panelists today. We have with us Prakash S., Associate Vice President and Head of Projects, Salarpuria Satwa, who's a graduate in Civil Engineering from the University of Mysore. He started his career with HCC and moved on to Tata Projects. And he's associated with Satwa since 2016 as Associate Vice President and Head of Projects. We will now move on to Mr. Ashok Singh, who is the Assistant VP, Ozone Group. He's a BE from Civil Engineering from Pune University and MBA in Finance Management from NMIMS, University of Mumbai. He has won Project Manager of the Year 2019 award at Construction Week India Awards. He's worked with developers like Lodha, B. Raheja, K. Raheja, Reliance, and also Omkar. We come to Kalyan Kethana, Head Technology and Innovation, Phoenix Group, who's a strategic leader with expertise of handling critical and challenging projects. He has cost-effective solutions for the organization. He's also a keen planner with the ability to handle high-pressure environments with ease and open mind. We now come to Mr. Subramanya Javagal, who is a technical consultant for Total Environment. He handles the electrical installations across all the projects of Total Environment, is an expert with more than 35 years of experience in the industry, and a very keen and intelligent mind who understands MEP thoroughly, through and through. We now come to Mr. Vibhushan Soni, who is the Executive President and Chief Business Officer, Light Duty Cables Polycab. He has been working at Polycab for 11 years and has significant experience in the cables and wires industry. He holds a bachelor's degree in commerce from Delhi University and a PG diploma in export management, international marketing. I would now like to invite Bhushan Soni to deliver the opening address.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the overwhelming welcome to the Polycab. I firstly wish to thank the organizer for conducting such a meaningful and learning webinar. And I also hope that the participants here today will be able to end up learning more. And this session will be add some further values in the purchasing decisions and all. Let me just tell you about why we are doing all this and all. As the builders and all are playing a very key role, and even the developers are playing a very key role today in the real estates and all other industries. Wires, what we are going to discuss today, wires have always been as a unseen hero. Maybe you can say it is playing a background role and all. And beneath, this product is always behind the staircase or the walls. It can never be seen, but it plays such an important role keeping all of us safe and enlightened. I can give the other way and say, okay, wires like veins in our body. If the veins of our body is healthier, so our body is healthier. Have you ever realized that in our country has one of the highest death rates caused by the fire? Maybe you can say first is the higher death rates just because of the accident, but the second higher death rates just because of the fire, and most of them is due to the short circuit. And you can say the wires and the switchgear were playing a very big role in that area. Fire, basically the cause being wires. This also means that the awareness about the wire in India is very, very poor. While making buildings, be a house, apartment, kothis, hospitals, malls, such like, we are looking at the cost reduction, always as a cost reduction. But if we pause and rethink that, do we want to go cheap at the cost of human life? I can bet the afterthought which will come to you is definitely not going with the wrong quality of wires. When we do not compromise on the external beauty of the constructions, we are very much worried about the sanitary. We are very much aware about the marbles, tiles, and the beauty which is there. We can see that. We can spend hours and hours discussing which switch to put, which light, which fan, which type of chandelier you want. But when it comes to the wire, nobody even aware. I was just having a questions with some of the people who are working in our company. Ask them whether you are aware which type of wire you. They say, sorry, we don't know. And I think that is very dangerous. If we people are not even aware which type of wires, whether it is good wires or bad wires, or I can ask a question: are you safe at your house? At your home? Because using local brands or inferior quality of wires may save you a penny today. If I'll say, if it is the construction cost is somewhere of 6,000 rupees, I'll say the north is 6,000 per square feet, the builder is charging. So it will not be more than 50 rupees or 60 rupees if we'll go for a good quality of wires. But it will cost you a invaluable human life. Do not forget about the Surat where we lost so many children there. Kolkata, even today, we cannot, I think so many years has passed, we cannot forget about the Upar Khans and All India Medical Khans. Why I call it Khans? Because this is Khan. We have a religion terrorism. We have sort of other type of terrorism. I will call it as electrical terrorism. The people who are using PVC wires, who are using degrade sort of copper and all, putting us in very, very much in the risk factor and all. And it is onus of as a manufacturer and responsibility all as the purchaser to provide the awareness of the quality of wire. It is my earnest request to all of you that please, just for a pinch of margin today, please stop to make a wrong decision. Let us join hands together and make India as a safer place. This is Bhushan Sahni, Business Head, Light Duty Cables from Polycab. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhushan. I would like to introduce Mr. Debjyoti Mukherjee, Vice President Technical Polycab India. Has been working with Polycab for more than 8 years and has experience in design and technology of wires and cables, technical marketing, etc. He has more than 29 years of experience in cable technology and design. Mr. Mukherjee is here today to answer all your technical questions. So all my dear audience, if you have any technical questions, please put it in the chat box or in the Q&A, and Mr. Mukherjee will answer it for you.
So good evening, everybody. So let us have a good session, good technical session today. Thanks.
I will now introduce you to Mr. Biju Pancharath, who is the General Manager, LDC South. With 17 years experience, and he has been working in Polycab for more than 6 years in sales, business development, key account management. He holds a BTech and MBA degree. Prior to Polycab, he was associated with brands like Century Plyboards and Godrej and Boys. Mr. Pancharath will today deliver the presentation for you. Thank you. Mr. Pancharath, the screen is all yours.
Respected panelists and a lovely audience, good evening to all. Can we have the presentation slides? I'll just take around 10 to 12 minutes and make 10 simple points. Just to give you a brief on Polycab, we are the market leaders with a 21% market share. And we have a revenue of 89,265 million. And the first point which I would like to make is, thanks to our manufacturing excellence, thanks to our distribution excellence, we are one of the most trusted and loved, wires and cables brand. So these are some of the, painful tragedies that we have had. I just want to dwell on the fourth incident, which was, Srirangam marriage hall fire. Imagine the bridegroom on his day of marriage was charred to death. And apart from him, 57 people, also lost their lives, and it was because of short circuit. This incident happened in 2004, and in 2020, the High Court has held the conviction of the marriage hall owner, the manager, and the electrician. So I repeat, High Court has upheld the conviction of the marriage hall owner, the manager, as well as electrician because of this, tragedy which happened because of a short circuit. So have things changed of late? So these incidents in the year 2021 again prove the fact that things haven't changed. Unfortunately, things haven't changed much. So this is a very, very unfortunate statistics, wherein more than 40% of fire accidents have been caused because of electrical fault. More than 40%. So my second point is, let us, take a pledge that we, as part of the electrical ecosystem, the manufacturers, the contractors, the developers, the consultants, let us take a pledge that we will not add to the statistics. Now, this is again a known, fairly known fact. It is in the event of fire, more people die because of asphyxiation and not because of the burn. And one of the culprits is PVC. PVC is polyvinyl chloride. So when chloride oxidizes, it forms toxic HCl fumes. The third point which I would like to make is, apart from going for a flame retardant wire, please select low smoking options, because it is the fumes that cause more fatalities than the burns per se. So what can be done? Two very simple things. Choose the best of the products and follow the best of practices. And I bet we can prevent such loss of lives, which is not only painful, but as Mr. Bhushan said, it is definitely avoidable if we put our hands and heads together. So what has Polycab done? Yes, we have ensured that we use the best of materials and follow the best of practices. Wire, as everybody knows, has a copper conductor and a PVC insulation. So as far as the copper conductor is concerned, we have our own copper rod manufacturing facility, which no other manufacturer has. So this level of backward integration is being done to ensure that there is consistency of quality. Similarly, as far as PVC is concerned, we again get the virgin granules and do our in-house compounding. So that is with regards to the best quality of materials. And as far as the manufacturing is concerned, again we follow the best of practices. For wire drawing, we have NIOF machines. We do online annealing instead of batch annealing. For PVC, we use bus kneaders to give it consistency. We have Rosendahl machines for the extrusion process, and we have Sicora machines to check the centricity of the PVC on the conductor. Before asking for discounts, please do think about it. Please visit our factory once, and we will show you the kind of best practices we follow, and we have in-house laboratory, NABL accredited lab to do our own quality checks. So this is the fifth and vital point. A week ago, I was with one of the developers. So he said, I know Polycab is number one. I know Polycab is the best. But how do I know I'm buying Polycab? Polycab has invested crores in this product secure feature, which ensures that every single coil of Polycab, irrespective of wherever you buy from, you can check every single coil for authenticity. There are two ways of doing it. One is you can download the product secure feature and scan the unique 2D code. Or if somebody at site does not have a smartphone, has a feature phone, there's an alphanumeric number that is given on the pack along with the mobile number. If you message the alphanumeric number to the mobile number, you get a response of authenticity. Every single coil, again I repeat, of Polycab can be checked, and this was my 6th key point. Okay, I'll have to slightly move fast. So I think as far as the wiring practices are concerned, I think our panel members would be dwelling more on it. I'll just touch upon the last point in the slide about the using joint-free wires. Again, what Polycab has done is we have 300-meter lengths for 1.5 and 2.5 square mm. So this A ensures your wastages are less, and B ensures your number of joints are reduced to the minimal extent. So that was the 7th key point. Here again, I would like to touch upon the first point. See, while selecting the size of the wire, I mean, we give the ideal rating, but the derating factors also need to be considered. So that is another important aspect. The current carrying capacity is given for the ideal condition, but one must factor in all possible derating factors and then select the wire size. So these are our wire range: FRLF, flame retardant, lead free; FRLSH, flame retardant, low smoke halogen; HFFR, halogen free, flame retardant. Again, HFFR, there are 2 variants, one with a temperature rating of 70 degree and another with a temperature rating of 90 degree. Our star product, green wires. What are these green wires? The specification of green wires is HR, FR, LSH, LF, heat resistant. I repeat, heat resistant, flame retardant, low smoke halogen, and lead free. This combo is referred to as green wires. Green wires has got 3 significant attributes. One is not only it is lead free, but it is completely RoHS and REACH compliant. Apart from lead, all your hazardous compounds, be it mercury or the bromo compounds, etc., are within the RoHS norm. So it is a 100% eco-friendly wire. Number 2, since the insulation is heat resistant, it has a temperature rating of 85 degrees centigrade against a normal 70 degrees centigrade. In other words, it can carry 20% more current. So it is safe for the environment, and it is also safe for humans. So that is the second, attribute of green wires. And the third is the energy saving, benefit that one could get because of the high conductivity. The conductivity is around 101.75%. This reduces the resistance, it reduces the losses, and you get energy saving. So this is one of the best wires, ISI marked wires that are available. I say ISI mark because halogen free does not have an ISI mark, but green wires does have an ISI mark. So it is one of the spec rich superior products which Polycab has. So that was my 8th point. Yeah, so this is another key product called fire survival cables. So these cables can sustain 950 degrees centigrade for 3 hours. So essentially your circuit integrity is maintained even at 950 degrees centigrade for 3 hours. We recommend that this must be used in all the emergency circuit, because if your emergency circuit gets burnt, then you cannot have a safe evacuation. That is my 9th critical point: use of fire survival cables at appropriate places. 10th point is it largely encompasses what kind of range we have. So we have an excellent depth as far as wires and cables are concerned. You name a wire and cable, we do have it. And along with that, we have a very good bandwidth of entire electrical range that a developer would require. Coming to the wires and cables, we do have LAN cables, coaxial cables, CCTV cables, building management system cables, fire alarm. So that was fire safe. This is fire alarm cables and fire alarm signal cable. So the entire, spectrum of wires and cables that you would require in your building is with us. As I was alluding to you all earlier, we have a switchgear range. Our switchgear range is manufactured in our Nashik facility. So all our products have got their own in-house manufacturing facility, and we do have the range on the LT side. We have MCBs, we have RCCB, RCBOs, ACCL, and of course distribution boards. We again have conduits ranging from 20 to 50 mm. Conduits conform to IS 9537 and fittings conform to IS 3419. And all our conduits are FRLSH. So when you're using FRLSH wires, why use a PVC conduit? So our entire range is in FRLSH. Apart from wires, cables, switchgear, conduits, switches, we have consumer range, be it lighting, be it fans. We have in fact one of the largest fans facility in Uttarakhand, and we even have home automation. So quite recently we have acquired Sylvan Innovation Labs. They are one of the leaders as far as home automation is concerned, providing home automation solutions to developers. We have all kinds of home automation solutions available, and if you're not able to remember the 10 points easily, you can just remember, please do not compromise. Choosing Polycab is wise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Pancharath. We now come to the panel discussion for the day. Thank you so much once again for being a part of this panel. I will now start with asking, without wasting much time, I will now start asking my question to Mr. Prakash. Prakash, how different are the use of materials, mainly wiring and cabling, in commercial buildings and residential? Because you do both kinds of projects, Satwa.
Well, Jayashree, coming to the difference, when you are speaking about difference, see, there is no difference in safety between commercial and residential buildings because life is very important in both the cases. We cannot throw away any of the safety factors while freezing the specifications. So what we do is we don't differentiate between the specific products to be used in both the buildings. We always use FRLS cables and armored cables. So in the buildings, and ensure that all the shafts are provided with fire-rated doors, and fire-rated doors are provided for all the staircases, even the services rooms. So we don't compromise on that at all. So while freezing the design, we discuss with the consultants, and we do have top consultants working for us, so that at no point of the construction nor the design, we don't throw away any of the safety factors. Cost comes next. So what we do is ensuring that FRLS wires and armored cables are used everywhere. So that has made a standard practice in both the cases. So I do not see much changes in our construction between commercial and residential, because in both the cases, life matters and safety of the people who reside. So it does not make any difference to us. We always follow the standard safety practices while choosing the materials in both the cases. Even the shafts, we use the risers, the sandwich risers. Only in the case of residential buildings, we may use conduits with the wires going through that. But in certain cases, we may upgrade the system depending on the client's requirements. In one of our recent buildings we constructed and handed over to the client, he wanted FM system, and we immediately adopted it. Although he told us in the fag end of the project, we did not look back while adopting it. Although we lost a couple of months in doing so, we did not lose. We wanted to do it for him, not only just because he asked and he is our client, because the way he wanted it to be mattered a lot of lives. And if you provide a better system, it is good for all of us. So that is one of the cases where we entertain the client while considering the safety of the people as well. And in one of our future projects, it looks like they are asking for fire survival cables, and we are going to adopt it as a matter of fact. So this is my view on this difference between commercial and residential buildings. We do not see much changes.
Thank you, Prakash. Mr. Subramanian, can I have you online, please? You have a vast amount of a number of years of experience behind you. how do you look at making installations simpler in buildings so as to make life easy for residents?
When it comes to the electrical installation, basically the simplicity to operate, and maybe what I understand by your question is how easy it is to operate the various devices and fixtures. So now if you come to the latest trends, now home automation has become a part of most of the homes, and we offer it as a customization feature in all our apartment and the villas. So basically now with the touch of a button, you can on off the light, you can dim the light, you can close the curtain, you can control the AC and check if the doors are all closed or the windows are open, things like that. And therefore the technology has really helped things much easier for the residents to work, to live in.
Thank you. Thank you. Ashok, as a project head, what are some of the precautions you take at site to ensure that you have received quality material?
For this, we need to first finalize the specification of the material which we are going to use at site. So the specification should be finalized in discussion with the project head, quality team, and if required with the consultants. So once the specification is finalized, then this specification has to be sent to the site team. So as the material reaches to the site, then the site team and the quality team both needs to check this material, and they just match the specification what has been mentioned, and so this can be verified. So I'm giving example of different material, like if we are procuring reinforcement. So it has got different tests which can be carried out at site, like bend ribbon test. So in bend ribbon test, the crack should not be developed. And then weight per meter test. It's then again rolling margin test. So these are different tests which we can carry out for steel. For concrete, it's a batch sheet has to be checked. Its workability has to be checked by slum cone test, and water cement ratio, admixture content. So this is for steel and concrete. We can check for the cables, wires, the specification which has been given by the consultant, and it has been finalized by the quality team and project head. So depending upon the specification, we need to check whether the sizes, the properties which has been mentioned, whether we have achieved it or not. Even for the interior material like Italian marble, so whether the veins are matching, whether the cracks are there or not, and the backing material, the fiber which is backed behind the Italian marble, whether it is properly done or not. So these are different checks we need to carry out to ensure that we are getting the quality material at site.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashok. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Kalyan, since you lead innovation and technology, tell us about the role you play in projects developments at Phoenix.
Coming to role in terms of technology and innovation, it is inevitable, having large developments for Phoenix as a group, it is inevitable to standardize to large extent of developments what we are doing. So it becomes a role where we bring in several aspects of the project development or project development, which we say is a development management, bring that into a productization. Now, what is productization? Basically to ensure that several services, what we do, we study to the nitty-gritty of those services and start standardizing, considering as a Pareto principle. That's 80% of the services are basically standardized, and 20% are done as a customization to the project requirement. So it becomes easy, and a modularization is much possible in this kind of an approach. So my role basically is to use those existing innovations or bring in new innovations into the market through various discussions and dialogues with the various industry experts, and bring that as a solution to our technology platform into the construction, and enhance the productivity and also bring in efficiency and overall timelines into the project. As an organization from Phoenix, we work majorly on steel projects. So steel structures, unlike we do steel structures. So our turnaround time from project start to end is about 12 to 14 months. So it becomes a mandate for us to work in these avenues, to work towards best possible solutions and also bring in the efficiency in the overall systems and procedures. In a nutshell, it's a checks and balances established through standardization. Thank you.
Thank you. Bhushan, as a manufacturer of one of the most prominent wiring and cabling companies, how can consumers be made aware of the safety aspects of using superior wires and cables?
See, in this, we need the help of the people like who are the specifiers, consultant, even the government people. As government has introduced the LED, while you can save the power and all by using the LED, but people are not giving any focus on the wire, such type of a wire we should use. Maybe there are, as a lot of my friends are saying, there are very much change in the coming time and the future also. But the awareness of the wire is still, I will say, it is still on a back seat of it. As a company, I will say, I am not saying doing any marketing by saying you buy Polycab. I'm saying you buy brand. The day you will start buying brand, you will aware about the quality of the product, you will automatically go for a good brand and all. We all people having a integrated all type of manufacturing, good manufacturing plants we have. So we have a benefit of process also. We have a benefit of cost also. We have a benefit of R&D also. We have a benefit of maximum everything, because as the raw material and all, everything is same. And we people are not buying anything from the outside. If you talk about PVC, we are manufacturing. If you talk about the XLB, we are manufacturing. If you talk about all steels and all, we are manufacturing. Even we have our copper rolling plants where the quality of the copper is the best of it. And that we actually want to create the awareness with the help of the government, with the ICI, BIS, EMA, and sort of other, you can say the fraternity who can talk about the quality. Because if you see in the like Paris Agreement and all, even such of the country has stopped using PVC. In our country, and they are talking about even they have stopped with the FRLS wire. They are talking about the ZHFR wire. They are talking about HRFR wire. They are talking about the best quality of wires. We people are more conscious about the your airbags in the cars, but we are not conscious about the wire what we are using. Where you are trying to save the energy by 5-star AC, by 3-star this, and CFL and all, but people are not aware how much power they are wasting in their walls and all by using the standard copper.
Thank you. Thank you. Prakash, my next question to you is, with developers now spoiled for choice, with the kinds of brands available in India, whether with international brands, Indian brands, what is the role that you can play? What is the role that people like you can play in an organization to get the best products?
Well, Jayashree, that's a good question, because in the recent past, I would say about from the last 10 to 12 years, we have been seeing a lot of international brands coming into the market, and we have many choices lying in front of us. So what we do is we start the procedure of freezing the brands or the products from the scratch. While the DBR is being prepared and presented to us, we start discussing on the materials to be chosen, the brands to be chosen, whether we do have multiple choices in choosing the materials, or we do have very limited choice of choosing the materials. So all these parameters, we will list it down and discuss with the consultants and the end users with our project. Being the project head, I will also be part of the discussion team, heading at several fronts. And what we do is we start freezing the brands like Polycab, or for that matter. Okay, I mean, if there is a choice of 2 or 3 products, definitely we will give a choice of 2 or 3 products which are in par in quality and performance. So if there are very limited choices or no choice at all, some monopolized elements are there, we inevitably have to go for that. And while doing so, we have to consider several aspects. It starts with the safety, then it moves on to quality and the installation, ease of installation, and the cost of installation, or the method of installation, mode of installation, who are the best people to install it, which contractors can perform. So we consider many of the aspects while choosing and freezing these brands. So at no given time, we throw away any of these aspects. Because what happens is, when we are delivering a product to the customers, why we have to compromise on certain things? See, it may matter a few quids more at this time, but in future, in the coming days, the consequences, many of the mishap consequences can be avoided. So we have to think very far. Our vision should be quite far while choosing these materials. We adopt this method, and we have been quite successful in doing so. And also, what we do is, while freezing the materials, we get the samples from the listed out vendors of the manufacturers. We call their technical people, talk with them, and list out the pros and cons which goes with it. And all these things will be carried on further into the technical specifications, bill of quantities, and GFC drawings. So this is what our view on this, on the question you have posed to me.
Thank you. Thank you, Prakash. Kalyan, I would like to come to you with my next question. The pandemic played spoiler for developers, and projects had to be left dry till the entire wave ebbed. How did you ensure that ongoing
I think
projects...
again, I get to understand your question. So fairly in Hyderabad, it has not been as bad in other locations, what I can say. That's not because of anything or a pandemic seriously didn't affect Hyderabad. That is not the reason. But the reason being that it's my personal view that Hyderabad as a city has already got the critical mass what it needed right before your pandemic has started. So there are several projects either which were about to close, or there are several projects which are about to start, kind of a thing. And the projects which are running and happening, thanks to the government policies and procedures which have been laid on at that point of a time, and close monitoring and administrating, also helped for the laborers as a best choice to be in Hyderabad and be safe at their location and start working towards. And most importantly, when it comes to Phoenix as an organization, in fact, pandemic, I won't say that we have really outperformed, but yes, we didn't have any problem within the duration for the only reason that we adopted on technologies, and we adopted in terms of the latest trends and patterns, or in terms of construction technologies, we have used the best into the industry. That is steel structure. Basically, it needs about 40% less laborers. So we are less labor intensive jobs within the job sites what we are working. So that helped us to move forward. And being a steel structure again, several such elements are actually manufactured into the factory and being bought at site and then installed. So there again, very less labor required for us to convert a project from a bare start to an end of a project. And we have actually completed one of our building, which is 30-story building, within the same duration, and we were able to complete within the timelines as well. So my only take is that yes, here, as you say, in terms of leaving it for a very long time, it could have seriously made us spend a lot of money in making it back to a situation to start working. But having that, the technology what we have adopted, or the construction process what we have adopted in terms of the type of construction, that really helped. So again, the takeaway is that the more you have to be focused to get the timelines achieved. Technology is the only buzzword what we can bring in, and that comes everywhere, whether it may be switchgears, whether it may be your wires, or whether it may be the construction technologies what we use for. So I think I have answered the question.
Thank you. Mr. Subramanian, I have my next question is for you. Considering the total environment mainly constructs luxury apartments, how do you use technology on site for installations?
You know, we make use of the various technological innovations to improve the efficiency as well as the energy efficiency of the product. For example, I can give you two examples. One is, you know, normally people go for the split AC when it comes to the air conditioning. So a split AC will have two units, one outdoor unit, one indoor unit, connected by a connection of pipes and wires. Now, what happens if a split AC is switched on, it consumes more power, irrespective of the load, irrespective of the occupancy. Now, instead of split AC, there is another innovation called VRV, or Variable Refrigerant Volume System, or VRF also it is called. It is nothing but one centralized outdoor unit which connects to several indoor units, and this consumes much less power because it is dependent on the load and the occupancy. If there is less occupancy, it will not take much power, it will consume lesser power. So this is one of the innovations that we have been adopting. And secondly, also now we are using what is called as a heat pump. A heat pump is a device, an appliance which provides hot water using the heat available in the atmosphere. It extracts the heat from the atmosphere and heats the water. That is how it is done. It is the reverse of the refrigeration. Okay, so now if you have a geyser, let us say you have 2 or 3 bathrooms and you have 3 geysers, it will consume 3 into 2, 6 kilowatt of power. Whereas if you have a heat pump, it consumes very nominal power just for one circulating pump for transferring the hot water into the your bathroom. So these are all some of the technological innovation that we are trying to adopt in our products.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashok, how
Yeah.
can developers ensure that they imbibe the concept of adopting better quality materials even in affordable housing?
See, nowadays it is a big challenge that to use the better quality material in affordable housing, because everyone is looking for the cheap housing, but with very good quality. So here the answer comes to the innovation design. If there is an innovation in design, if the design is done thoughtfully, then we can achieve better quality products and at a cheaper cost. So apart from design, we can do the offline construction, offsite construction and offsite fabrication. So which give us the better quality product and at a cheaper rate. What happens when there is a large volume? So if we are doing off-site construction, so the cost reduces, and of course it is a isolated fabrication or construction is going on, that precast materials are casted, so we can have a better quality products and cost is also less. And apart from this prefabrication, there are so many prefab panels are there. If we use those prefab panels in affordable housing for a larger volume, then we can get a better quality product at a cheaper rate. And recently I have came to know from IIT Bhubaneswar, they are proposing that if we use 80% of fly ash and 20% of red mud, so it give us the strength of the self compacting concrete. That strength is equivalent to the concrete which is having the cement. So here the question is red mud. What is red mud? Red mud, it is basically the industrial waste from the aluminum plants. So if we use fly ash, which is always cheaper than cement, and red mud, so the strength we are getting, that strength is equivalent to the concrete self compacting concrete which is having the cement. So there are so many options which we can explore in affordable housing, like fly ash bricks, secondary steel, and micro concrete. So we can have a better quality products and at a cheaper rate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bhushan, my next question to you is your concept of green wires and cables is interesting. What do they actually offer users? Bhushan?
So Greenwire is a unique product for Polycab, and it has developed after a lot of R&D and a lot of innovation exercises. And this product has found green technology based on 3-4 criteria. One is that sustainability, then eco-friendly, then it should be non-toxic, and this should be safe and environmental free. So we have tested all these criteria, and we found that all the criteria have a very good compliance. And then we approached to our European government for restriction of hazardous substances. and then we got the certificate from them. Then again, for upgrading the product, we again approached to European agencies, which is called REACH. So REACH is very, very strict for using hazardous substances. And fortunately, we got the approval also, where they said, REACH said you have to ban around 102 chemicals. These are banned chemicals you cannot use in your product. So we have not used these chemicals on this, and this product has found very, very safe. Basically, when you see, coming back to old history, 1961, there was no PVC. Then 1969, PVC started using, but there are very hazardous substances were using, like lead, cadmium, and all those things. You know, lead is cancerous. Cadmium is making a asthma, heart problem, then abdominal problem, and many people found this also. So if there is a contamination, there is a problem. So we have thought of this, and then we have come out from the lead, cadmium, and all the hazardous substances. Even we made our factory free of lead, and it is a totally lead-free environmental zone. And then we developed that product, and then we have given the name of the product FRLF, which is fire retardant, lead-free, and all our house wiring products are lead-free. So it is totally safe, and it is eco-friendly, and can be used in all smart homes and upgraded future prospects.
Thank you.
And this is recyclable. It don't
Yes.
create any heat while if we are doing any condensation and all. Because nowadays recyclable product is also very much required. You will see your ocean is coming so much on a higher side and all. So we are playing with the earth, and such type of product is very, very much required.
But Bhushan, I should mention this, as you said correctly, it is recyclable. But for electrical wiring system, normally virgin products we have to use for safety. So this is recyclable in different articles and different products. So product can be, material can be recycled, but it's not in the wiring system.
Thank you. Thank you. My last question to my panelists, according to each one of you, what are the hallmarks of a safer building? Safer buildings?
Starting from the designs, we have to ensure that the building will be made safe while choosing the materials. Next, moving on to the choice of materials and installation also. Just choosing the products, good products alone will not help. Even the installation should be ideal enough to ensure that the chosen products will function to our requirements. Otherwise, it's of no use. Then finding the right installers to install them effectively so that the ambition will be fulfilled. Then moving on to the maintenance side, without proper maintenance and training the people to use them and making it useful for the right function of the material, it's of no use at all. So all these stages of installation, testing, commissioning, maintenance, training, it's a continuous process and requirement. We cannot, especially after installation, we have to be very careful in maintaining the systems, what we have done. And also training the end users. The facility people alone, training them alone will not help. So even the end users, some of them are to be trained with mock drills, and they should understand what these products are meant for, how we have to use them during the crisis, because the psychological factor which plays a villainous role during such crises is the panic. To bring down the panic, we have to ensure that there are safe products around, safe installations around, and how to use them to bring the panic level in the personal being used. So that's how we have to make the premises more safe, and also periodical inspections, removal of expired items, replacing with the new items. So these are all the aspects which we have to take care in ensuring the premises is absolutely safe for the people and for the property as well. So these are two important things.
Thank you. Kalyan?
In fact, that is a very good question. So I echo with what Mr. Prakash has mentioned. And over and above that, what I can say is that the buildings, not only in terms of safer buildings, basically it has to be predictive, preventive, and resilient to any types of hazards. If that is created as part of the holistic development, that is right from the start to the end, the entire development process, if we are able to understand and put the aspirations in right set, then basically the overall development comes in more resilient, at the same time predictive, and it can always be preventive. Now, when it comes to the word of preventive and in terms of predictive, I would say that it is about the connectivity. The more you have the visibility, the more you have the data which is coming out of the equipment, which is today, most of these equipments come with Ethernet connectivity. Most of this equipment comes with whatever the protocols it may be, but the amount of information or the data which is coming out of the equipment certainly help us to prevent if there's any malfunctions into the systems, or if there's anything which is actually going over and above or below the parameter it is set through, we can always have that set as part of the maintenance. And the other aspect which I was saying, preventive, like in terms of cables, this is also something, it is possible, but we don't do it. Now we are evaluating that as a process that even on the cables, when there is a high resistivity which is coming in, there's a heat which is generated in the cables, and that's when it starts deteriorating or getting into trouble with. So there are sensors available. Now it is about putting the right sensors at right location to ensure that that connectivity has been brought into the overall system as an integration. Will definitely give the results and will also give people to get to understand like KYC. It's about know your building. If the building maintenance people know that what is exactly there in the building, that really helps for them to maintain it properly and make it a safe building to go with. So this is my take on the question.
Ashok, I ask you the same question.
Yeah. So for safe building and safe home, I think mostly people do concentrate during construction and post construction, but I will say that we should take precaution right from the design stage. So in case of MEP designs, if we take due diligence at the time of designing, and we consider the factor of safety for the cables, wires, etc. So even if at the time of commissioning, if the loads on the cables increases, so they will be having enough, factor of safety to resistance, the excess power or excess the load. So they can bear with that. So even the load increases, the short circuit or something like that, it won't happen, and we can have a safe, thing. So this is pre-construction, and during construction, we need to follow the method statement. We need to follow the checklist. We need to focus on the construction of, different segments, and post construction, of course, after completion of the structure, you should have a proper maintenance, and a proper team is there, whether the sprinkler is properly working, whether the smoke detectors are properly working, wet risers, fire pumps. So there are so many things. A complete detailed checklist should be prepared, and every day it should be checked. So I will divide the safety. It starts right from the pre-construction to during construction and post-construction. If we are following, safety in all these three phases, then definitely we will have a safe home and safe structure. Yeah.
Mr. Subramaniam?
Yeah, what I say might be a repetition, but still, it starts with basically with the design. You have to properly size all the equipments and the components, and then procure quality materials, all independently tested, maybe tested from CPRA, see that the quality materials are obtained, and see that you get a proper installer or a good licensed electrician to install all the equipment. Then after installation, see that we need to do all the quality checks before handing over. See that the earthing is proper, mainly, where most of the problems, electrical issues start with the earthing. We need to check the earthing thoroughly, and then have an as-built drawing, check everything is all right, and it matches with the design intent. So, and also, of course, periodical maintenance. I think all these will go a long way in a safer building.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. You've been wonderful panelists. We had a now lovely presentation. We had a lovely panel discussion. And now I'd like to call Mr. Bhushan Sawhney to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. I think there are a lot of learnings in this session. I hope the people who have attended that session, they must have got some good, valuable information and all. In the last, I'll say that even the people who are using the unorganized market or unorganized player, if we'll see and compare the prices, if the people are using even the 2.5 square mm, the X price, I'm very much sure if the people will use the 1.5 square mm of Polycab, it will give more good result than that. Even if we're talking about the green wire, where we are saying the 20% more power saving and all. So if you end of the day will calculate everything, maybe it will come on the contra entry and not more than that. But yes, we will save a lot of money. We will save a lot of lives, because such type of accident we can stop. We can, if work hard and together we will work, I think we can control such type of all type of accidents and all. And thank you very much. Thank you, Jayashree, and thank you all the panelists. I enjoyed a lot of, I can say, from the company's end, yes, we will work together and we will work for the nation, and we are already having a very big infrastructure with us to serve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you.
Thank you.